listening to Beyond the Headlines with Dionne Jackson-Miller.
Thank you so much for staying with us as we continue with you on Beyond the Headlines. All right, just a quick response to a question I've been getting about what kind of documents can be filed in court. When you file in documents in a court case, you go to the court's registry, right? The workers there are clerks and so on. They're really just taking the documents from you. They're going to stamp it. They're going to put it into their system. They're going to give you back your stamped copies. You keep your copies. You have to serve a set on the other party in the dispute. The people who accept the documents are not going through the papers to see whether or not all of this can be admitted as evidence. That's going to happen when you go to case management conference, and the lawyers then, having got the documents and go through them, will say, my lord or my lady, paragraphs 5 to 7 we believe should be struck out because it's hearsay or because it's inadmissible for what other reason. So the point at which you're filing documents, nobody's going through the documents at that point to see whether or not they're admissible or not. All right, Dr. Dayton Campbell joins us now. Thank you so much. We appreciate you talking to us.
Hi, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Dr. Campbell, you issued a statement continuing to deny allegations against you. As you probably have heard by now, a number of groups, we just interviewed 2 representatives, have called on you to step aside. Do you intend to do so?
I think they may be a little bit precautious in their assessment and coming to a conclusion on the matter. This that is taking place is malicious and politically motivated. Karen Cross is a malicious liar. And,
all right, hold on for me. In the same way that I wouldn't allow her to come on here and refer to you in certain ways, I'm going to ask you to do the same. So let's stick with your responses. You can reject without using certain words and certain phrases.
Yeah, my vocabulary is enough. I can. She has made some spurious allegations from which I have sued her. And in defense of that, what has happened is that now she has produced some statements from which the names of the individuals are redacted. So there are no names of anybody on the documents that she has submitted to the court. So I don't even know who it is that she's saying these allegations would apply to, because no names have been submitted for anybody. This that is taking place is totally politically motivated. If you recall, in the beginning of this matter, one of the first things that was done was that a letter of resignation was prepared for me to sign. And even if you go on before that...
Prepared by whom?
By one of the defendants, one of the persons who is also being sued by me. It was prepared and sent to me that I must sign this letter and everything will go away. That's one of the first things. The media was calling me about it, and I said to them, why are you calling me about a letter that is not signed? And even if you go before that, recall what took place in Northwestern St. Anne. I was one of the MPs that had somebody who's a known PNP going up as an independent with a deliberate attempt to split the votes to cause me to lose the election. All of this is politically motivated. That's the reason why no evidence has been provided to the police.
All right, let me ask you though, because what, for instance, Dr. Monroe has said is that he's cognizant of the fact that these are unproven allegations. He said, however, given the fact that what appears to be happening here is that there are these 3 new statements purported to be coming from 3 people making allegations against you, albeit, as you said, redacted. He says he believes the police needs to reopen investigations to ascertain whether there is any basis to what is happening. Is that a reasonable call, you think?
I don't think so, because one, I don't know if he was aware that the documents are redacted. If he's aware of that, I don't know if he's aware that the date on the documents are March 1, March 12, and March 18, all of which took place prior to the previous investigation, at which time Ms. Cross went in to the police, gave a statement, and the police concluded that she came in, gave her statement, she wasn't able to provide any evidence, nor was she able to direct it to anyone who is willing to give a statement. As of such, they concluded that this is a baseless allegation.
But hear my question though. I'm asking you then if, because Prof. Monroe is saying this is now in the public domain. These additional allegations are in the public domain. The police in their statement on the matter had said, and let me just quote, If Ms. Cross or any other person wishes to provide credible information about this matter at a later date, we are willing to reopen our investigations. Prof. Monroe is saying, given that statement, these statements have been made, the police should investigate to ascertain whether they're credible or not. You're saying the police should not. And
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, that's what you actually answered. That's what you actually answered, though.
Oh dear, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
No, let me be very clear.
Please.
The initial matter was referred to the police by the People's National Party. Was never referred by Ms. Cross. She made the spurious allegations on my birthday to a coordinator, if they were, on March 19th. We referred the matter to the police. The police then investigated, and I'm saying to you that the police investigated in April of this year. The date that she has on the statements that she has submitted that are redacted without names of anybody, the dates on that is March 1, March 12, and March 18. If we are to believe that, it would mean that she was in possession of these from before. So that's the point that I was trying to make. I am, however, inviting the police to investigate the matter. I will subject myself to any form of investigation because I know that I am not guilty of these allegations, and these are people who are wicked beyond measure. Because here's the thing. If you want to take what you gave me in terms of the general secretary position in the party, that's fair game for politics. But there are some other things that you did not give to me that you're also trying to take away. I have, and I've always said it, very difficult to bring with a mother who struggled to bring me through. I worked hard to become a medical doctor at 24, a member of parliament at 28, a law degree by 30. For persons to now come with these allegations that are damning to my, I put up myself to politics, so I can deal with these. Understand that I have a mother who's sitting down listening to these things. I have a daughter who is 14 years of age, who is also sitting down hearing these things being said about her father that she knows and loves. And these are just people who are coming up with these allegations that are baseless. Right. Absolutely no proof to anything that they've said.
Having said that then, because you're saying you would welcome an additional police investigation because you're saying you're confident that there is nothing to find. Would that be correct?
Absolutely.
Is it
nothing at all to hide?
Okay. Is it necessarily then, why not accept then the call from Trevor Monroe, Joyce Hewitt et al. To step down during those investigations to say, let me step aside, let the police do what they're doing, and at the end of it, if it is that you're so confident that there will be nothing found, is there not merit to saying, okay, let me just remove myself from the scene while that investigation goes ahead?
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because that's exactly what the perpetrators intended to happen. Remember, I started out by saying that the first day they came with it, what followed it was a letter of resignation. That is exactly what they intended. Because what? Of the role of the Gensec in the People's National Party. The position of that person as the person in charge of the organization in terms of the groups and those things. That's the individual that you interface with. So the aim is to remove that individual so that you can now go ahead to have a challenge at the presidency of the party. Now, if you were to have individuals just come up with these baseless accusations and you accuse yourself, they would end up achieving exactly the political goal that they're trying to achieve.
But not given what you've said, though.
Understand that reality.
No, I hear what you're saying, but that would not, based on what you have said, right, and based on the sequence of events as you have outlined it, that could hardly be the outcome here if, as you're saying, the police aren't going to find anything. Because, for instance, the initial police investigation was completed in a matter of weeks. The one that ended with them saying that Ms. Cross didn't provide anything or anyone else to establish the allegations as credible. This would be a matter of ascertaining who are these three people, do they exist, if they do exist, are their allegations credible? So surely that is something that would also be completed in a relatively short period of time, and you've already said you welcome the investigation. So if it is, let me just finish the question so you know what you're responding to. So if it is then that is going to be the case, the police would wrap up their investigation, based on what you're saying, the police would say, okay, we found nothing here. That would be a matter of weeks. That could not then lead to the kind of political ramifications you're talking about in terms of removal of a Gensec, undermining a leader, bringing down the current leadership structure of the party, whatever.
All right. let me explain a little bit of the internal happenings in the party. If you
without defaming anybody, right?
Oh no, that's never my intention at all.
Okay.
So this is what happens. If you were to ask the GenSec to vacate the position, whether it's temporary or permanent, then what would happen is that an interim person would come into play. What would happen in terms of the management at that time? You don't know. What would happen in terms of we're now into conference season, at which time you elect persons who, say, for instance, sit on the NEC of the party, which is where chairman and the GenSec of the party are elected. So you may look at it and say, well, it won't have any impact. But if you remove the GenSec for 3 months, you may, in that 3 months, you may have already caused all of the conferences to happen, and you have already elected the NEC member during that time period. So I'm saying, I don't have a problem in asking, as we did at the get-go, for the police to investigate the matter thoroughly. I will subject myself to any form of investigation. I too believe that this is one of the most heinous crimes that could be committed. And it is one of the worst things that somebody could make an allegation against you about. It is something that I would never even consider.
Do you know if is your party supporting you in the positions you're taking here?
You know, Ms. Jackson, I'm not going to euphemize the situation. I do have support, but there are also persons who are not supportive.
Well, I don't mean individuals, I beg your pardon, within the party. I mean in terms of the party position. We've heard them say they're going to send out a statement. I haven't seen one yet. I know Parliament has been going on, so we haven't been able to get some of the key executives.
There's an officers meeting to take place tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You may not get it until then.
So to your knowledge, a statement, a position has not yet been reached?
Not that is different from the original position from before, which was that I have the support of the party. But I also have the support of persons outside of the party. You know, there are good people across even the aisle who have called to say that clearly this is politically motivated. They can see clearly that this is nonsense.
All right. I'm going to have to leave it there at 6 o'clock. I'm up onto news. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Dr. Campbell.
Have a good evening.
And the same to you. Dr. Dayton Campbell talking to us there.